Before we get to that interview, though, folks, I do need to tell you about today's sponsor, which is BetOnline. We're back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back on for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your number one spot for all of your pro and college football action this year. With a new and updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the number one source for everything football. Head to their website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all of the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Welcome to the Believe in NFL Draft Prospect podcast. It is an interview edition. You know we are ramping up now, heading towards the 2021 college football season, so we need to bring you some inside look into some of these stars, not only in the college football landscape, but that will be making their rounds when we're talking 2022 NFL Draft and beyond. Have a young man. I was just talking to him before we got going here. I watched him not this past summer, the last summer, because I thought he had an opportunity to be in the 2021 cycle, obviously before COVID impacted some seasons, and obviously a lot of tough decisions were made. But I am joined by a young man that I have been very impressed with on film, Mr. Devin Wynn, running back from Furman University. Devin, appreciate you, man. Again, I know it's busy times, fall camp, but I thank you so much for taking a little bit of time with me today, man.
Man, thank you for having me come on here. It's a pleasure. And it's always a blessing to get to have these type of interviews, especially in the sport that we have right now.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And I know it's been crazy times over the last year and a half. I'm just excited to get back to some sort of normalcy, man. And I kind of want to run this as like, hey, let's go back to high school days a little bit in a second. But I just want to ask, now kind of getting towards what seems to be a normal season after the COVID impact and the cancellations, what's it been like just to be back with the team, back with your brothers, and heading towards a more normal season, hopefully?
Oh, man, it's been a great feeling. I think as far as camp goes right now, this has been one of the more productive camps we've had. A lot of the guys are excited to get back. We always discussed over the summer, like when we had summer training, always discussed the future and like what goals and things we had set for the upcoming season. But it's just nice to get back to normality in a sense, because the COVID season kind of took everybody by storm, took them by surprise, and we all weren't expecting it. We all weren't expecting to play, and just getting back to normal, regular college football it's a blessing, man. And I'm so happy to be here right now.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about not only what you are going to accomplish this year, what the team has accomplished, and obviously looking forward to the NFL draft side of everything after the season when it gets to that. But I kind of want to start you out, kind of like I said, want to take you back to Greene County. In my preparation for the interview, I went back to Greensboro, Georgia, and kind of did a little digging, a little background check, a little recruiting profile. I saw an interesting little note. You were coached by Robert Edwards, who was a fantastic football player, played on the NFL. I think he won 3 Super Bowls. He was. I know he was with the Patriots in those early days of Tom Brady and everything. So talk to me a little bit, Devin, just about the high school career and playing under Coach Edwards. I know it had to be great, but being a running back under a guy who had kind of been there and done that.
Yeah, high school career, it was a great, phenomenal career. All thanks to the man above. Playing under Coach Robert Edwards, it was a blessing. Like you said, he already has been there. He knew the tricks and trades to everything, and him just helping me develop my skills as a running back just really, kind of prepped me for college and prepped me to get to this point right now. And he's actually helped me a lot. And I just thank him for the position he put me in and just giving me the opportunity to go play at that next level.
Yeah, and the digging I did, I saw, season records while you were in high school, over 2,300 yards, 34 touchdowns, over 5,062 touchdowns, also an accomplished basketball player and track athlete. So, Devin, I want to ask about the recruiting side of it then. Furman, obviously a great university. I know that they have a very historic football program as well on the FCS level. So take me through recruiting a little bit and how you ultimately ended up at Furman University.
Well, when I came by Furman, it was late into my senior year. Recruiting was very hard for me. Being in a low classification, it kind of messed with the scholarship offers and stuff. I didn't get many, but Furman was one of the schools that actually took time out to like come see me, come evaluate me, come talk to me, and it's kind of crazy because going into National Signing Day, I didn't have an offer. I was waiting to hear back from Furman and from other schools that weren't really like talking to me. But it's 8 o'clock in the morning. When you get to school, and me and Coach Edwards were actually outside in the parking lot talking, and he's just telling me to stay patient, stay humble, and just keep putting faith in God, and everything will work out. And as soon as we get finished with our conversation, Furman calls me and offers me on the spot. They finally had room available. They had just made coaching staff changes or whatever, so all of the previous offers that they had, they couldn't do anything about it. But they found room, and they were able to offer me a scholarship on the spot. And right when I got on the phone with them, I just accepted, and I signed that letter of intent that same evening.
Wow. So for that experience, man, that's a great story. Honestly, it really is. Because I know it's hard when you're going through something like that and you feel like you've worked for something, you worked so hard for something, and it still hasn't come.
Absolutely.
In that sense, though, was it more like a feeling, and you can completely correct me if I'm wrong, did you feel like, wow, it was just meant to be? Or did that experience maybe just leave a chip on your shoulder? I was under recruited. I wasn't getting the looks I deserved. And because I have to be honest, man, I watched the film and you run like a dog. Like you have great effort, fantastic balance, but just the physicality you run with, it looks like you play with the chip on your shoulder. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're completely right. I definitely thought I was under recruited. I seen, many of the names that are like in big time, like Power 5 schools right now, they were on a rushing list for the season, and to be above them and not have the same opportunities as them, it left me starstruck, and I was completely just enraged that I didn't get the same opportunities as them. So running and playing with the chip on my shoulder has definitely been my motto for these past couple of years since I've been at Furman. When I finally got my first chance to show what I could do at the collegiate level, I just knew I had to step up and come with a demeanor where I could actually set myself apart at the collegiate level.
And I know you're trying to work into the rotation. You're playing a little special teams, returning some kicks, and then you have your sophomore year where you really burst on the scene. Over 700 yards, 6 touchdowns, 6.4 yards a carry, which is bananas. And then the next year you do better, 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns, over 6 again. I think you had a long of like 89 or 90, if I remember the stats off the top of my head a little bit there. Talk to me about the progression, man, because you have obviously over the last couple of years specifically, I know you played this past year and you had another very productive season, but just seeing your progression as a football player, what's it been like just kind of take a step back and see the player that you become now?
Oh, man, it's been a wild progression. When I first came in, my head coach, he already had told us he's not afraid to play any freshmen. If he feels like you can help the team, he'll put you in there somewhere in any way, shape, or form that you can help. And returning kicks, it was I returned some mostly, but at the end of my freshman year, I came off of a ankle surgery that I had to go through and had to rehabilitate. And so when I finally got my shot my sophomore year, we had got down to injuries. The running backs had got real thin. So when I finally got my chance, I just didn't look back. And, I just didn't look back. And it's been straight uphill from that point on. But the progression has been crazy. I came in not knowing how to practice at a collegiate level. And I had a very tough time my freshman year, just kind of getting in the playbook, getting used to the tempo of how college coaches want, everything ran. And so it got better as I got older. My old running back coach, David Sims, he told me he was pretty straightforward with me. He was like, you're gonna play. We just need you to get everything in practice right. We need you to be a practice player. We need you to be a leader here and there, and just go out and perform and try to get better every day in practice. And that's what I did, and now it's brought me to this point, and I can't be any more thankful for those people who helped me got to this point.
And besides, Devin, for you, for aside from the practice habits that you talked about, the progression there, as a football player on the field, what do you feel like has been some of the biggest improvements in your game, kind of looking back to like when you first got on campus to now? What do you feel like has been the biggest jump in your game as a player?
My biggest jump is I would have to go with consistency. The coaches, they harp on consistency a lot. And you want to always go out there and at least be better than what you did in the previous time you was out there. And I think that for me, I took that very, very heavily, and it just helped me progress as a player, because I knew once I got off the field and I came back on, I had to be better than I was the previous time I came on.
Mm-hmm. And I want to ask about the next step for you, because for me, from an NFL evaluation perspective, I know some people are going to ask you about this, and they're going to say, you don't have a ton of receptions in your career. Now, the receptions that I saw you had on film, I mean, you average, like 12 yards a catch. So like you show that you can do it.
Yeah.
But aside from maybe just more volume in the passing game, what do you feel like is the next step in your development as a player and your maturation process?
My next step, especially with receiving, would have to be route running. I'm pretty good at catching. I'll catch whatever comes my way. But route running and just getting to open spots to where I can get in the quarterback's vision, just so he could know that I'm open, stuff like that. But yeah, I think as far as like receiving, I might not have a lot of receptions, but if it comes my way, it will get caught.
Love it. I love it, man. That's what I said. I actually brought you up in a meeting last night, and I was like, he doesn't have a ton of receptions, but it looks natural, and he does a lot with it when he gets the opportunities. Again, almost 12 yards a catch. So I have no doubts that you can contribute in the passing game. And besides for that, outside of the run of the passing game, are there anything else that you feel like could also be a help to your game taking that next level?
Pass blocking for sure. At Furman, I really didn't have much of a responsibility protecting the quarterback, back there by myself, at least. I was always either catching runs or in the slot, catching the ball, running it from the backfield, just stuff that I could do as a playmaker. But I think I definitely can show that I can protect the quarterback, at least in the backfield by myself. But that is just one aspect of my game that I know I have to improve on, that I've been working on since my junior year, when I found out I actually, could go far with this as long as I kept working.
Yeah. And I would love to ask this question, because I love comparisons. For me, it kind of like paints a picture of maybe what a player sees of themselves. When I watched your film, I actually wrote down, I don't know if you remember Isaiah Crowell, that used to play with like the Cleveland Browns and stuff. For whatever reason, that was like one of the names that popped in my head. I'm like, he runs like him. Like I just kind of wrote that one down on paper. Are there any players, it could be growing up, past, present, any guys that maybe you watch a ton of and you see a little bit of yourself in their game?
Growing up, I know in high school, before I even burst onto the scene, I actually went to G-Day my freshman year, and that was back when Todd Gurley was at running back. And I switched my number to 3 in high school, and I wanted to be like him. And I just kind of tried to model my game after him. But a lot of lot of the people now that I've talked to, they try to compare me to like Le'Veon Bell with like my patience and stuff at the line. But growing up, it was well, since high school, it was always Todd Gurley. He was always my favorite running back, and I just tried to model my game after him. But I did invite the Le'Veon Bell comparisons in because I do like his patience.
Absolutely. And he was, I mean, going back to his Pittsburgh days, he was one of the best in the game. So love the comparisons, man. And you mentioned number 3. I noticed obviously last season you're rocking the 0 instead of the 22, man. Are you planning on rocking the 0 again this season?
Oh yeah, of course. Of course. It's kind of one of those special things where, you know, I am the first person in firm history to wear it. So I mean, just starting and having that legacy by my name, you know, doing so well with the team, and it's just a blessing because I actually get to start my own legacy or have my own legacy here when I leave.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm really curious, only a couple of questions left for you. Looking forward now, I've been talking a lot about obviously your accomplishments. I know you guys have a lot of expectations for the team as well. So from an individual perspective, from a team perspective, what is going to make 2021 the perfect ending to your career?
The perfect ending to my career would be obviously for us to go out and win the FCS championship, but we like to focus on the small things and take, you know, one step at a time. So we have this board where we want to win the state championship, and that's what that is. That's all the teams that surround South Carolina and all the teams in the Carolinas. We just, you know, we want to go out on top over them, and we want to win the SoCon. And we have this other goal that's win the FBS game. And I think we had the chance. We definitely had the chance against Virginia Tech, and I'm just excited for the opportunity that we have against NC State this year. So as far as like expectations, we always want to be better than the last season because it was a rough one, but you know, we're getting a lot of doubts, and we're loving it. We're loving the adversity that we have to go through, and we just want to prove to people that we are who we say we are.
Yeah, and kind of my last question for you is, I'm really excited about the season, but I want to take you a step further for a second without, you know, pushing you, because I know you want to look forward to it, but it's a lot of excitement. Saw some good grades for you from the NFL side of everything. I saw Jim Nagy put you on the Senior Bowl watch list, obviously. So you're on the radar. A lot of things to be excited about. Just kind of looking forward to a second. How long has the NFL aspirations been a dream for you? And what type of blessing is it to just think that, you know, less than a year from now, you could be in an NFL training camp, earning your spot that way?
It's always been a blessing to me. I didn't get to play football much when I was younger, because I had to stay in a bubble until I was like 10. So I couldn't go outside. I was allergic to everything. So I couldn't go outside. I couldn't, you know, run and play with the boys like I wanted to. But when I finally got that chance, you know, I seen how good I could be. It was always an aspiration to make it, or just at least get to that point. And now with everything coming into fruition and things, it's a blessing. I'm honestly shocked that I've gotten to this point right now, but it's just a blessing, man. I can't describe how excited I am. You know, that the Senior Bowl watch list came and my mouth dropped out. Like, I was just so speechless. I couldn't believe it. But finally seeing, you know, all your hard work and stuff pay off, even when you were limited, when you were young, it's a great thing to see, man.
Now, it's a lot of great things ahead, obviously, again, here with Devin Wynn, star running back out of Furman University. Make sure to check him out this fall. I know, you know, all two-time All-SoCon selection, All-American preseason honors. He's got a lot of things working for him. Devin, appreciate you again, man. Taking a little bit of time. This was fantastic. I really appreciate, especially during fall camp, man. I'm wishing you the best of luck, and I thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man. I thank you for having me, man. I thank you. I really thank you for having me. This is a blessing, and I'm grateful for this opportunity.